I do this to myself every time. We have good shit in the pre-show, and I don't record it because I'm a fucking horrible podcast host.
There's still the rumor that with all this bloodline takeover shit, that the punishment is he's gonna get stripped of one of the titles and it's gonna be up for grabs in the
that's just stupid.
That's just dumb.
We can keep this topic on the pre-show, and we don't have to talk about it too long. Because this was the question that came up. If you split those belts, does it lessen the importance of Roman being the guy?
Yeah, that's the last argument we had last time I was on.
It lessens the importance of whoever wins the other one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's immediately a second place, and it makes everything he said to Drew McIntyre absolutely 100% true. You are a secondary title holder. You are a secondary champion. You're the guy we get when Roman's busy. And it doesn't matter who it is. It could be Seth Rollins. It could be Cody by God Rhodes. You're a vice principal. You're a substitute teacher.
But everybody knows that. Like, that's not yes, of course.
So it lessens the moment now.
Right. When Roman
compartmentalized, bro.
Won at WrestleMania and just on Monday night been like, thank you very much. I'm sending this belt back to Raw. I just wanted to get it away from Brock. Then fine. The shot of him with both belts is really just him holding Brock's head. The blah 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 blah. But now it's way too deep. Now the title might as well be fused to him.
If you take one and not the other, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ray. Go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt. Genuine question, because I tend to agree with you guys. I don't want you to think I'm arguing against you.
Right.
But genuine question. So it's okay if he were to relinquish one of them, but it's not okay if someone would strip him of one of them.
Yes.
If they stripped it of him the night after, yes, it is absolutely okay.
That's what Jason's saying. We're too deep into the water now.
Oh, we got to get okay. I can.
They could. Adam Pearce could have walked out on Monday night and been like, you know what, Roman, you can't have both belts. It is official. You are not WWE champion. Fine, whatever. It was just really a stakes raiser for Brock. Now though, he's held that thing for way too long. Yeah. You can't just be like, oh, just kidding. We don't really care about it now.
That's right. And because he
even laid the seeds as a character. He threw it away multiple times. He repeatedly showed, I am not interested in this thing. I just want to fucking kill Brock.
He put Naito. Yeah, he did.
And look, at this point, when he loses, he should lose everything.
Yeah, I agree with that. With that.
Yeah.
If he only loses half of it and he's still walking around with one more, then that's not. This is going on too long for him. No, this is going on too long. Okay. I mean,
at the end of Infinity War, they didn't unsnap a quarter of the people. They unsnapped all of them.
And then also when Tony snapped his fingers the last time, he killed everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
He didn't leave Ebony Maw by himself to talk. Okay.
But I mean, but think about it. Who was the one that got killed before they got to the major fight? So one was already dead.
Well, still, but like he didn't leave part of his army. He didn't leave anything. It was the whole saga was over.
Right, and yes, so they killed everybody. Tony Stark killed everybody on the other side.
That's a fair point. I agree with that. That's a good point.
So
would you guys be cool with them doing it like the 2002, where they just make the Undisputed title one title and then they bring back the big gold or some other world title for Raw?
Because that's still a consolation. No, that's still
no matter what it's gonna be, it's gonna be a consolation prize.
But
the history of the two titles on both brands, one has always been a consolation prize.
All right, let me jump. Whoever beats Roman should get everything, and then if after that you want to split them up, you want to say, okay, Roman Reigns held both of these hostage for 2 years. We don't want to do that anymore, and then whoever the new person is then hands one over. To me, that's fine.
I'm not saying split them up. And I'm saying y'all can
I'm saying after
both of them. Yeah, and here's a brand new title.
Oh,
Cody could relinquish the Universal, no problem.
I'm saying after if it indeed is Cody, after Cody beats him, if they want to split it up after that, it's fine, right?
I think it's more likely for a new title because new title means more merch.
Yeah. You unveiled a whole new belt, then got a whole new line of merch, and that's
and you guys keep saying that second place or whatever Okay, cool. If that's really that big of a deal, brand new title, whole new legacy. Just like the Universal title had no legacy, and Roman's built it up, right? That's a brand new title.
Yeah,
So maybe
now,
that's the next best bet.
So on the night after Mania, when Roman loses, you kick off with, "Hey, this is our new fucking belt. Here's the tournament. Serious contenders only. No first chancers. No NXT guys. No nothing. Serious Hall of Fame worthy guys. One night tournament. Here's the belt. Boom." And you make it very clear that whoever wins the Universal Championship, whoever wins this belt at the end of WrestleMania is going to be the champion of SmackDown. And we're reinstating the brand split, and we're blah, 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 blah. You just lay the groundwork immediately so that you don't pull a surprise on Monday night and say, "Oh, I'm dropping one of the titles." You just lay the groundwork and say, "These are all the stakes. Let's play."
so I wouldn't do that. I would wait. Cody beats Roman, and then the next night I would say, then I would bring out Adam Pearce or whatever. Say, okay, both of these titles have been held hostage, and now we need to go back to having, to splitting these things up, whatever. Because again, when Roman loses, he needs to lose everything. This whole we're going to.
I'm just saying, in my scenario, you do at WrestleMania. Hey, here are the two belts. Guess what? They're going in the trash. Here's the Universal Championship, or the Undisputed Universal Championship, the championship of SmackDown, whatever. And you say you win it. We all cry when Cody wins it, and blah blah blah. It's got the lineage of the Universal Championship. No, you haven't addressed Raw yet. And it's got the lineage of the WWE Championship, excuse me. No, you haven't addressed it Raw yet. Boom, 8:01 Monday night. Adam Pearce walks out and says, "Okay, well, the SmackDown Championship is decided. We don't have a championship over here anymore. We got to do a championship." Boom, here's the belt. Maybe you show it under a cover, maybe you don't. And then here's the tournament. And like I said earlier, it's Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton and Seth Rollins, and no Solo Sikoa, no NXT people. Just
Solo would be worthy because of what he's done since he's been on the main roster.
That dude's been incredible.
No Braun Breaker.
Right, and maybe we obviously by then, because I'm talking about WrestleMania in Philly, so by then, yeah, Solo could be on that path.
Okay,
so,
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was about to say, so you changed your mind on LA.
Yeah. And,
let's go.
Right,
let me ask you this: if they do have a quote unquote tournament for a new championship or a new belt, what are your thoughts on them doing that in an elimination chamber style match instead of a tournament?
Like Sean did, like what Sean won?
Yeah.
I think the finals could be I think you have some qualifiers and stuff, and again, it's got to be
qualifying matches to kind of buy the time until you get to elimination chamber, right. And then the finalists are all in the elimination. It's like a matches for the elimination chamber.
But again, you got to fill that out with just serious boys only.
Yeah.
I think you can throw a Gunther in there, or Ricochet in there, or Drew McIntyre, or Seth Rollins. I mean, you've easily got 6 guys who I can name off the top of my head you could slot into that match.
There's more than 6 for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I don't mean the IWC. I just mean throw in all the people who will or would eventually go into Vince McMahon's WWE Hall of Fame. Those kind of players.
Yeah,
I hear what
to be fair, is on that path.
I hear what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think you're looking at it from a realistic standpoint. From a story standpoint, there's so much opportunity to tell extra stories in a tournament like this, where a person who may not be thought to be worthy could maybe earn their worthiness in the title. Or you could have a Miz-like dude who everybody knows isn't worthy, storyline perspective, but sneaks his way to a certain level. There's so many story opportunities to add to this, the final match, whether it's an Elimination Chamber match or a one-on-one. It's going to be classic. It needs to be classic. It needs to be between 2 legit people. I'm with you on that. But this whole idea of what's legit and what's not it's in the eye of the beholder, right?
Well, no, because all right.
I'm trying to legitimize I'm trying to legitimize Raw's title immediately. Right. Because we've had like 1,000. By then, we'll have more than 1,000 days of Roman by God reigns, and that's still, even though he lost, That's still the kind of champion that people are going to be used to.
Agreed,
so we
right.
need an absolutely high impact, perfect champion. And by the way, the champion of the other show is going to be Cody by God Rhodes or another person who is equally as beloved and will have overcome something even greater. So it's got to be, if the two shows are supposed to be at all equal, it's got to be, at least for the first couple of months, the first little foray into this 2 championship world again, it's got to be a Drew McIntyre, a Seth Rollins who's, hitting on all cylinders, not that Universal Champion Seth Rollins. It's got to be somebody big.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And,
I'm sorry, Rob.
Okay, because personally, again, Roman needs to lose. He needs to lose everything. I would not throw any hints ahead of that happening before the match happens.
Okay.
Yeah, because I just wouldn't, because that takes away from saying that, okay, whoever wins this WrestleMania event is going to be the champion on SmackDown. That diminishes things. I mean, because the picture needs to be of Roman Reigns losing everything. And if we've already told people, well, whoever wins this match is just going to be the champion on SmackDown, then that's not the same thing. Then he's not losing everything. Because right now he's Emperor Palpatine now, right? He's not Governor Tarkin. If you make it just a SmackDown title, now he's Governor Tarkin, right? And that's not the same.
I have a question.
Yes.
Because something Jason said really, and this could be a whole hour's worth of conversation on its own. But what makes the title legitimate to you? Because y'all know my mindset and my ideology when it comes to wrestling.
Nothing matters. That's what it is.
No. Anything can matter as long as you tell someone it matters. But my ideology is, and let the worker in the room tell me if I'm wrong, the least most important part of wrestling is the wrestling.
Correct.
The least important part of sports entertainment and professional wrestling is the shit they do in the ring. That's the least most important part, because anybody can do that. It's the other shit that makes wrestling a big deal or important. So to me, it doesn't matter how many great matches you had. Doesn't matter how many great performances you had. What makes a title legitimate to me is how the types of stories you tell and the importance that you're able to bring on that title based on those stories. And so, with that being said, like, man, that title could be legitimate if the world champion was Miz. because it doesn't matter if the matches are great, as long as he's making the stories great. Doesn't matter to me who it is, as long as they're doing the job.
Okay, but
so,
all right.
hang on. But look at the other side of the aisle.
I have you so befuddled. I love this.
So hold on.
I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for my turn.
If the subject is, how are we legitimizing that other title? Does the other title matter? Does the other title get that oomph? Okay, I agree. The lineage and the title and everything like that matters less. It is about the performer that is carrying it. So to that I say this. So again, in this scenario that got us here, we're talking about splitting those belts up. So on the other side,
the scenario we were talking about making a brand new belt, but we can talk about that scenario.
Okay, yeah, right. I'm sorry. So making their 2 championships again.
Yes, sir.
So the WWE and Universal Championship just had a 1,000-day run plus by one of the most charismatic and in my one of the greatest of all time, and then is now carried and just was won by Cody Rhodes, again, one of the most charismatic people on the face of the planet in terms of wrestling, and he fulfilled his daddy's legacy at WrestleMania and won his daddy's title that he never won. That's why the other belt has to immediately be somebody you care about doing something you really care about. It can't be an experiment.
I think experiment would make it bigger.
Oh, hell
because you just follow the status quo.
Hell no.
You just follow the status quo. Do something different. Just following the status quo.
Oh, that got a big hell no from Rob.
Just following the status quo. Everybody can't be Roman. You can't have that title reign all the time. Every title reign can't, nor it shouldn't, look exactly the same.
Right. No, and from where Ray's sitting, I can see it from that perspective. We are never going to see a Rock Stone Cold situation again. We are not going to live long enough to see that lightning in a bottle where we have two stars that are generational running the card at the same time. There are great wrestlers. There are great people. We've got Cody Rhodes. We've got Seth Rollins. There is one Roman Reigns.
Yep.
And we are not going to see that again.
Okay. All right. Now, all right. Look, y'all know how I feel about experimental world champions. Okay. Throw them in the trash. Okay.
Rob's basic opinion of that is it's the person makes the title, not the title makes the person.
Yeah.
That's my thought process too. The difference is I'm looking at it from the perspective of a scripted wrestling show. You're looking at it from the perspective of a real sporting environment.
But I also try to look at it from the perspective of the people who don't overanalyze stuff, who just they watch what's on the TV and they give it a thumbs up or thumbs down. Either this is good or this sucks. And if you put the wrong person with that belt, those type of people, they look at it and they just say, this sucks. They don't get on Reddit and fire off a bunch of comments. Hold up, let me all right. They don't do that.
They change the channel.
They don't go on podcasts. They don't write blog posts. They just say this sucks and they change the channel and they do it quietly. And that's the perspective that I try to bring to this. Okay. And so, yes. Okay. So no, you can't just put anybody in that spot and say, well, we wrote a good creative. So we wrote a good story here and it'll be fine. Because there are, again, the quiet people who give it a thumb, who just look at what's in front of them and say yes or no. Those are the people you lose. Okay, Bret Hart was not bad, but the quiet people saw Bret Hart follow Hulk Hogan and said, you know what? Nope.
I'm gonna stand on the shoulders of that, Rob, and go one even better. Shawn Michaels, boyhood dream. Shawn Michaels, for all intents and purposes, as a champion, was a failure. His first run as world champion was a failure.
Yes,
and it was a failure because Ray, for all the reasons you said. Mm-hmm. They told us this is who you're going to like. And the story they gave us wasn't bad. You know, the boyhood dream, he brought out his mentor and his trainer and, you know, the feel good and, you know, everybody loves Bret, but hey, everybody loves Shawn too, remember? And then they didn't. So Shawn Michaels' first run as world heavyweight champion was that experimental, hey, let's see if we can try something different. And it kind of fell on its face. We have to be honest about that.
And as did Bret Hart's first run as world champion. Same thing.
So but people were more into Bret than they were Shawn.
But either way, but still. But Bret was a departure from Hogan.
Absolutely.
Bret was not the big jack muscle guy. And he was it was like, okay, we're going to do something different this time. And again, the quiet people, a lot of them just said no. Okay. They didn't write letters. They didn't go on. Well, they weren't message boards back then, but they did make a bunch of noise. They just kind of quietly faded away.
I hear you, and you're not wrong.
All I'm saying, seasons 4 through 7 of Arrow. I'm not watching, and then I came back.
I'm not disagreeing with you. You're absolutely right. But my question is, at some point, because I know you wouldn't finish, and I'm sorry, I mean to interrupt you, but I want you to answer this while you're finishing. Hulk Hogan can't wrestle till he's 90. No. John Cena can't wrestle till he's 90. Roman Reigns can't wrestle till he's 90. You have to pivot at some point. When will the pivot happen? Because what you're saying is
when they aren't there anymore. When they aren't there anymore. Okay, you want to pivot?
That hurts your business more than taking a little blip and letting the company know who the person is.
The company's never going to wait until they leave again. They ran into that problem. They've talked about this in documentaries. When Hogan left, they had a slump because they had nobody to recover the ball. When Austin and Rock left, they had a slump because they had nobody to cover the ball. When Cena left, they had a little bit of a slump. They've been worried about Cena leaving for years because
when Cena left, they had somebody to carry the ball, and the fans fucking revolted.
Okay, so at that point in time, though, Roman wasn't ready to carry the ball. And then finally, they figured it out, and Roman picked up that ball and ran with it. They don't want to get caught with their pants down again. You don't want another big slump in business. You've got to give somebody that chance now, and you do it while you've still got a guy who's hot at the top of the card. Because let's do this. They take a shot at, let's put Ricochet out there. Let's put the belt on Ricochet. You've got, let's say Roman's got 4 to 6 years left. You've got 2 to 3 of those that you can play around, plug somebody in, see if it works. If it doesn't work, you've still got a little bit of a window to find the next guy. You know, you can't ever wait. Okay, Roman's leaving in 6 weeks. Do we start looking now? No, you start looking today. And if you've got a little bit of a window, throw somebody out there. Throw Ricochet out there. And if he falls on his face, then we know Ricochet wasn't the one.
At least we tried.
Yeah, we tried.
And
we tried, and we can still recover because we've still got Roman.
And nothing else, Ricochet is the main man because he's forever going to have former world champion. Dolph Ziggler's made a 15, 20-year career off of the fact that you can say he's a 2-time world champion.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we agree it went from what? Bruno to Hogan to Austin to Rock to
Bruno to Backlund.
Yeah.
Well, okay, Bruno to Backlund
wasn't a draw. Backlund was a draw.
Yeah, he was champion.
Backlund was a draw, dude.
For lack of a better term, the main character.
He was 6-year champion. You're not they don't keep the belt on you for 6 years if you're not a draw. I'm sorry. Okay,
in the territory era, shit, they can do whatever the fuck they want. That's the point.
No, they didn't, and that's how the territory goes under. He might not have been.
I wasn't watching.
That may also be why Vince Jr. got the belt off of Backlund. We don't know.
Well, no, I mean when Backlund was fine in the Northeast, he was not. But he didn't. When Vince Jr. decided to run a national wrestling company, he saw that Bob Backlund was not that guy. But Bob Backlund, if you're running a regional wrestling company in the Northeast, Bob Backlund absolutely was a draw in the Northeast.
Fair enough.
All right.
Funny story about Backlund. When I first heard the name Bob Backlund, I looked at my dad. I'm like, who the hell's Bob Backlund? He's like, I don't know, some blonde-haired kid.
Yeah.
but look, all right.
Anyway, we went from Hogan to Austin to Rock to Cena to Roman, right?
Okay.
And that just in a general sense, as the main character of Monday Night Raw WWE.
Yep.
And I agree with you. Yes, there were blips. There were parts where, hey, we weren't ready for the main guy to leave, and there were blips and blips and blips. And going back even further, it's been that way all the way back to Bruno. Nowhere in that system have they ever had NXT. So it's fundamentally different now in terms of having a guy on the bench ready to go, or guys and gals for that matter, but guys and gals on the bench ready to go to give a shot. Hey, let's try this guy. Hey, let's try that guy. So I think it is going to be a little bit different in that regard.
Good point.
Yeah,
all right, great point.
But like I agree with Jason. When you split those titles up after Roman loses, whoever is the Raw champion, it needs to be somebody. I'm sorry, you can't roll Ricochet out there and give him 2 months or something. No, you can't do that. I remember when they had Ric Flair losing Ronnie Garvin. Okay, Ronnie Garvin was that guy. Ronnie Garvin was he was the.
Yeah, but they did that for different reasons. They weren't trying to establish a new star. They did that for storyline purposes.
Yes, but still, and it tanked so bad even in that short time that they just said, "Fuck it, don't bother defending on the house shows." Okay, that's how bad it tanked. They just said, look, go home, Ronnie, come back for Starrcade.
What sucks about that is when Ronnie Garvin beat Ric Flair, I popped because I was a Ronnie Garvin fan.
But that was a prime example of you can book the match, you can book the guy to beat the champion, but now what? And it was Ronnie Garvin beating Ric Flair was wonderful. And then the next week it was like, oh shit, Ronnie Garvin's the world champion.
I hate to do this, man, because your point is valid, but you love to make points about stuff that was in the 80s or the 90s when we're in a different sphere of media now.
I was about to make a crack. What was that? Starrcade 1962?
Oh, Jinder Mahal.
Damn it.
Jinder Mahal.
Jinder Mahal did good business outside of America. America is not the be-all, end-all of everything in everything.
The only thing I'll say about the Jinder Mahal title reign was they did that to try and increase their audience in India. So you just told what, 2.6 billion people that you guys are all the bad guy, and that was your business model.
Also,
that's a good point.
That's a little bit different when you're talking about a slimy heel champion. That's a little bit.
But
he's meant to hold the title hostage. That's his deal.
Sure. Yes. And
it's like, hey, you're not supposed to have that, dickhead. You know,
Well, too bad people here didn't realize that was the whole gimmick.
You're right. That's the whole gimmick.
That's the point of Jinder. I'll defend Jinder Mahal winning the World Heavyweight Championship to the death.
I will too, because it's the. I mean, yeah, it worked me. Straight up worked me. I got so mad every week seeing that guy on TV. I was like, when he was gonna lose, and then finally, like 3 months in, I was like, oh, they got me. Okay, just dancing along. Yep.
Right on the string. They got the.
I turned.
I was a Jinder fan.
Once you make that connection, then I fucking love Jinder Mahal.
And it gave us one of the greatest post pay-per-view visuals of all time.
Yes. Great Khali holding up the title like he was the world champion.
All right, gentlemen. We have gone long on the pre-show, and we didn't accomplish anything here. No. We need to get into the real business. This has been the Mindless Wrestling Podcast pre-show huddle here on the YouTube channel. You can go check us out on thechairshot.com and find out what we're actually talking about this episode. I'll post a link down below. We are out on this one. So I'm going to give us a few seconds pause, and then we'll get into tonight's episode so we can get to work, huh?
Can I make you laugh real fast? Just one quick.
Yeah, go for it.
I saw a tweet from Barstool. I hate the motherfuckers, but whatever. Kenny Galladay just needs 76 catches this week to get a $750,000 bonus. Just 76 catches, no big deal.
Oh, well,
that made me laugh. Sorry.
That's crazy. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to give us a few minutes of dead space, and then we're going to get into this.
He had 18 weeks to do it, too.
Yeah. And Jason, look, I bet on your boys to win tonight.
That was a mistake. Sorry. Dead air. Let's go.
Can you guys be quiet?